Hey there, folks. Welcome to Last Week on Rocky Top. A look back at some of the biggest stories and happenings around Tennessee athletics for the week ending in Saturday, August 24th, 2024. Not necessarily a Tennessee related story yet because we're still in week zero and Tennessee's not playing week zero, but college football's back, baby. We're back. Start of a new season, start of a new football season. And as you saw on game day from some of the signs Florida State fans are holding up, they're still salty about the College World Series. And maybe they should have paid a little less attention and let that go and concentrate a little bit more on their number 10 ranked team before they got their season pretty much ended. Well, is what I used to say. It's really not over for Florida State yet. They're going to have to fix some things on defense for sure. With the new expanded playoff 12 team format, they're not necessarily out. And in fact, on game day before the game day crew shared their expanded playoff uh, brackets, with their predictions for the 12 team field, and not a single one of them had Tennessee in their 12-team field. So, you tell me in the comments, let me know, what do you think? Are they overlooking Tennessee? I know this, obviously, we're a Tennessee channel here, and everybody's gonna say, "Yeah, of course, they're overlooking Tennessee," but not only did not a single one of them have Tennessee in their field, not a single one of them had the Vols as their first team out or their second team out. That was a little bit surprising to me. It seems like maybe even just for the sake of discussion on the show, somebody would have thrown Tennessee in there somewhere, and not a single one of them did. So, we'll see. Uh, Tennessee, obviously, I think Tennessee's got a chance at being in the playoffs. For me, that would be a successful season if Tennessee can just be in the discussion at the end of the year for one of those playoff spots. I think one of the things that's impressed me this offseason has been the way that the coaching staff has had what I would consider an unquiet confidence. They've been talking. I mean, they haven't been, they haven't been braggadocious about it. They haven't been in your face about it or anything like that, but just have confidently said, you know, we've got players, we've got guys that can compete. Here's an example you see on the screen right here from earlier in the week. Mike Eckler just came right out and said, "This is gonna be the best special teams unit I've had in 4 years at Tennessee." Not trying to hide anything, not trying to hold back at all, putting expectations. When you put those expectations out there, it's not just on the fans, it's on the kids too. It's the coach saying to his team, "Hey, I think you can do this, and I'm expecting you to go out and show that you can do this." So you've got this confidence on the team. You've also got leadership. You might have seen that Nico got this NIL deal with Beats by Dre, and he shared those with his team. Everybody got a pair. Everybody on the team. Those things look sweet. I've never even wanted a pair of Beats. Really, I would absolutely cop those. They're awesome. Um, I think it's probably just a team exclusive thing. I don't even know if those exact ones probably aren't available to the public at all. But they're they're awesome. And one of the comments, if you look over here, I pulled this off of Instagram, and one of the comments said, you know, NIL haters would say things, but the bench guys, they won't get anything out of NIL, and they'll have animosity for the star players. Well, now when the star players are sharing their NIL deals with the team, right? So that's leadership right there. So you've got confidence, you got leadership, and you've got talent. This team's got guys, right? They've got dudes. Boo Carter, preseason true freshman All American team. It seems kind of crazy to me that they even have a preseason true freshman All American team. You haven't seen any of these guys step onto a college field. Now we're going to see Boo Carter very quickly step onto a college field, but the idea that there would be actually be a team for you know on speculation of what these guys are going to be able to do. But anyway, a guy like Boo Carter ends up on that kind of team because the talent's there, right? So Tennessee, no, the game day guys have Tennessee in their field of 12, but we know Tennessee has confidence. We know they got leadership. We know they got talent. That seems like a pretty good recipe to me for a really successful season. Of course, going back to the NIL deal with Beats, you've got fans on other teams assuming that this was from the Big Spur, South Carolina message board. This was shared by the message board geniuses account on Twitter. Why do they have so much more money than us? Tennessee's basically a garbage state, and the answer was Peyton Manning. It's just Peyton. All those Papa Johns, I guess. Peyton, speaking of, was presented at Fanatics, their Fan Fest, Fanatics Fest, whatever it's called, with by the WWE with a what they call a legacy belt. WWE loves to do this now. They go around and Uh, they make these custom belts for schools and teams and all these things. And so Peyton was presented with a Tennessee one. If I could get that belt and a pair of those orange and white beats, be swagged out for the season. And speaking of championships, you probably saw this, but the SEC came out with their tiebreakers for the two teams that'll meet in the championship game. We're done with divisions. Divisions are gone. It's all one big standing. Okay. And here I'm going to read all through the tiebreakers. But what I thought was more interesting was below the ABC list of tiebreakers, the paragraph that says if the regular season standings determine a clear conference champion and two or more teams are tied for second place, the conference champion will be the home team in the championship game. The language there of the regular season standings determining a clear conference champion. They didn't say first place team, conference champion. So, like in basketball, where you have a regular season champion and a tournament champion, here you've got what they're calling in their language a conference champion who is the first place team in the standings. Home team. So, I just thought it was interesting that the SEC is saying the word conference champion rather than first place team. I don't know if that team's gonna hang a banner. I don't know if teams will claim those as conference championships. If you finish first in the league and then lose the championship game, are you gonna claim a regular season title? I don't know. I think a lot of teams probably would just for marketing purposes. Will they get clowned on if they do that? Yeah, probably for a while, but a decade later, 2 decades later, are people gonna care when it says, on the stadium that they were champions, isn't gonna really matter. So I just thought that was interesting that they used that language. This one's a little old now that, Hendon's played another game since this happened, but in week 2 of the preseason, he was the Lions player of the game, 12 of 15 passing, 150 pass yards, and a rushing touchdown. That, of course, was the game that he played against the Chiefs, with Trey Smith and Kamal Hadden both being on the Chiefs there. Iconic picture there, the way the light is on him and everything is just, that's awesome. There was the quarterback school YouTube channel, and I'll put a link to this in this video's description, did a breakdown of that game, Hendon Hooker's play in that game. That same channel also did a breakdown of Josh Dobbs' week 2 preseason game. Both of the videos are really, really good. A lot of insight into how playing quarterback in the NFL works and how these two guys did the Dobbs video, especially. I really both of them. He had JT O'Sullivan, who was a former NFL quarterback, really, but former NFL quarterback, breaks down these videos. Had a lot of good things to say about both of them. And then on top of that, the official NFL account on Twitter has been posting lately. This was uh, Hendon Hooker's Week 3 game. Hendon Hooker here throwing a touchdown, um, capping off a 72-yard touchdown drive, and a running play here by Hendon as well, escaping the rush, bursting right up the middle, shaking some guys off, almost finding the end zone down at the 2. Uh, really been impressive, especially with his runs in the preseason. He's got to be able to throw the ball too. He's done a good job throwing the ball too. But the running game's really been impressive, I think, from Hendon Hooker. And then that same account, the official NFL account, also posted twice this catch by Ramel Keaton for the Raiders, and it really is an excellent catch. Look at that, look at the extension here, out of the break, one hand extension, bring it down. That's how you make a roster in the league, right there. That kind of effort, completing the catch, awesome. And of course, those are former balls. We've got some future balls to take a look at too. David Sanders, recent commit, warming up with his team with the power tee on the back of his helmet. Gotta love that. Not everybody loved that. If you look at the comments on this post, getting called tacky and selfish. He's a Nebraska flip. He's just wait till the bags can't be thrown anymore. He lost all his aura when he committed to Tennessee. Just a lot of salt from the haters in there. Another future ball, Onis Conanbanny, who just committed to Tennessee on Thursday or Friday. There was a feature posted about him that was I had never that kid's accent is incredible. He's he was born in France, raised in London, lives in South Carolina. His accent is everywhere. It's incredible. It's a melting pot of accents. It's amazing. I would just listen to the kid talk all day. I'll put a link to this in the description as well, so you can go and listen for yourself. Of course, if we go over to the blog cornfromajar.com, you can find a profile on some of our recent commits. David Sanders recently posted that last week right after he committed. We've got some profiles of lots of different commits, trying to get caught up on the backlog of commits there so we can get a preview of all these future balls who are coming down the pipeline for us. Switching gears to baseball, I'm sure you saw this. Tony Vitello inked his new contract, 5 years, $3 million a year. And absolutely, I think most of us would say he 100% deserves every penny of that. You should not be surprised to find out that the first account to have the exact number was Richard G. West. Somehow the guy alternates between being the trolliest account ever and the most accurate. So it's incredible. Some other former balls who are doing well in the minor leagues. Drew Gilbert recently hit a towering home run for the Syracuse Mets. Let this play so you can take a look at it. And Aaron Combs made his professional debut in Single A last week, going 1.1 innings, giving up a hit, walking two, and striking out one. Jared Dickey also hit his 10th home run, which was his goal for himself to hit 10 home runs, and he got his in his first game back with the Quad Cities. And of course, the most exciting thing going on right now is that later this week, we're going to be seeing what's going on the screen right here for real. It's game week. If you're watching this video, Tennessee and UTC on Saturday, we'll have previews of the game up on cornfromajar.com later this week. And to get you ready for it, if you didn't see this, just going to let this play us out. Thanks to all you folks on Rocky Top for being corn.